Welcome to another episode of East Meets West on leadership. Today we're talking about mentors and mentorship as leaders. Are you mentoring your followers? And do you have a mentor? What is the role of a mentor? How important it is to have a mentor as a leader? Or do you feel that you are capable of everything on your own and you don't need someone to walk beside you? So, today we're going to talk about mentorship and being mentored as leaders in whatever role you may be playing. And as you know, Coach Harish from India is joining us, and we're going to discuss about mentoring for leaders and also as mentors, what do you do? So welcome, Coach.
Thank you, Shanti. As a coach, as a leader, I feel it is our responsibility to move to mentorship. I remember when I came and met John Maxwell a couple of years back, I had the opportunity of being mentored by Paul Martinelli. And when I came back, after going through the mentorship program, I started mentoring people in leadership roles in India, especially in my space as a professional speaker. I had the opportunity to mentor three people who wanted to be professional speakers and coaches in which in the areas of creating leadership. So I agree, it is our duty to mentor people, and it's an opportunity as coaches to move to the role of mentorship. I call it you shift your focus and move to creating a relationship where you are creating future leaders by mentoring them. And I'm happy that I had the opportunity and will continue to give that to all those people I feel are hungry and need to be mentored.
So, yes, Coach. So, we have leaders as we talk about that see mentoring as, oh, maybe I need a mentor because I'm not smart or I don't know how to do something. So, if I get a mentor, then people will think that, I'm not smart. I don't know what I'm doing. And maybe I'm not fit for the role that I'm playing right now. And that kind of, what should I say, mentality or that kind of thinking causes many leaders also to not grow, not accomplish all the things that they would have could have accomplished in whatever role they might be playing. And so, Coach, from your end, do you see that kind of culture or that kind of thinking where people are totally against having a coach or a mentor? And I must say there's a difference between coaching and mentoring. So I'm using it in and out here, but there's a difference between the two. But even to have a coach coaching you in certain things and or a mentor, whichever one is walking with you, do you see that kind of mentality happening where people totally shut down that idea of having someone to work with?
I have been privileged and I'm happy to share that the community that I am surrounded by are happy to play the role of a mentor, being a senior leader, a senior coach. They would love to share their knowledge, their wisdom, and create that quality in those people by choosing to share with them the program of mentoring them. I only want to share here the mentee needs to be ready. Where the mentee is ready, the mentor will be happy to share, care, give. Wherever the mentee is not happy to be a part of this program, there may be a disconnect. So I feel it is important to look at, is the mentee ready to be mentored? And then the mentor will arrive and share his wisdom and happy to give it to those people who think that they require a mentor in their life. If you ask me, every budding individual who wants to learn, grow fast needs a mentor so that he can be guided in today's world to move into that role sooner, quicker, and earlier than he would normally do.
Definitely. However, why I'm asking you this is that from my end here, you see people, I think maybe it's a new concept or so from Guyana standpoint, but I know in the US and many other countries, the CEOs, the big companies, they all have the leaders have a coach or a mentor working with them. But that mentality I haven't seen transferred as yet into the minds of many of the leaders in Guyana, understanding what mentoring is about. And because they don't have a mentor, I found that they are not mentoring their people neither. So, as a mentor, as a leader, are you nurturing your mentees? The people that are working alongside you, how are you encouraging them to learn and to grow, right? If you don't have someone working with you, and so if I may use myself as an example, you can have a mentor in different areas of your life, right? Maybe you have a business mentor, you might have a, a nutritionist, someone who is guiding you along that line. You might have a spiritual mentor, different aspect of your life. Maybe you need someone to help you with parenting. And so you have someone working alongside you with those kind of things. But how open are you? And this is where I come back to the mindset that many leaders think that, okay, if I have to go to someone else and share certain things to get guidance, or maybe just to help open my mind to something else, because that's what your coach will do. Coaching is about questioning, right? The mentors will be one who actually share their experience and maybe give you some tips or something that you can go and test to see if it's going to work for you. Might work, might not work. But the difference, right? That who do you have in your life that is helping you along this side? And what is the leader's mentality like from India? Are they open to having a coach or a mentor working alongside them and seeing the importance of something like that?
It is now becoming a trend that companies are involving senior leadership to be coach on board and also hiring executive coaches to coach, mentor their leadership. Maybe 10 years back it was not that prevalent, but now in the last couple of years, more so in these months, that companies have decided to have senior coaches as mentors and coaches for their leadership, more because of the current situation that the influence is important for those leaders who are suffering from within and they need a hand to or a shoulder to look upon to help them in these times. So, even today, I was in a program where I was teaching 10 leaders on how to create that learning environment. Today, leadership is all about learning and having a personal development plan. I don't know in your part of the world, but here, the personal development plan is important, not only for the leadership, the team leaders, as well as the people who are running the businesses. If the business owners don't have a personal development plan, how can they grow themselves, their company, their organizations, their teams, and see exponential growth in the times to come? So it is important that this becomes a part of the new routine where you hire a senior member, sorry, or a coach to mentor individuals specifically on those areas which you mentioned. And communication is one area where people need to be coached today. Number one. Two, the fear that is surrounding them in these uncertain times, they need to get out of that fear by facing the fear and addressing those challenges which is coming to them here. Now, for that, you need a buddy, a mentor, or a coach who can look at those aspects. It's more here than actual physical doing the job as a leader. So I feel in today's time it is more important than ever to have a senior person either from within the company who will be acting or being a coach or a mentor, or hire a person who is happy to look at the seniors, the leadership, to coach, mentor, and teach them and bring them. It is also some parts are teaching because the listening will come from that aspect. And when you have senior people addressing, the respect will be there and they will acknowledge that they will need to clear certain aspects of them which is troubling them for growing. So I feel in today's time, it is more important than ever to have a mentor and a coach.
So I saw one time that someone was like, "Oh, what is this coaching about? I want to see what is it like, right?" And someone asks, "Is it a counseling session where you are sharing your problems and there's somebody who is listening and telling you what to do and whatever in their mind they might think a coaching session might be like." So, Coach Harish, maybe you can elaborate a little bit. What is coaching? What a coaching session is like with a coach, comparing the mentoring session. But let's talk about a coaching session because many people hear the business coaching. This is something new happening now. Well, in my part of the world, although this is something happening years now that it's out there, but I think now it's becoming more popular about having coaches working with you with help our listeners to understand what a coaching session really entails and what happens in a coaching session.
First of all, I want to share these four words: mentoring, counseling, training, and coaching. People had to understand there's a very thin line between each of these four. Since I have been working as a coach, I will like to share my thoughts on coaching. Coaching is enabling your person to share their response on the questions which have been asked by your coach. They look at the response from the pain that the person is going through in terms of time, team, money, or in terms of any other action which is disturbing them, and the coach helps them by asking those questions which are pertinent and get the solutions from that call, that talk that they have with the coachee. Mentoring is a little further when you dig deep and get into their past, their record, how they have been behaving in those areas. And you could relate from your experience and share with them. Whereas in coaching, you don't relate or influence them with your part. You only share with them by asking those beautiful questions which address all those limitations which they have and bring it out. And then it is a choice how soon they want to implement those which is coming out as a solution. Training is a particular program when you do, like weightlifting is a program. How much to weight lift, at what time to lift, how many times to lift, and how many times in a week you could do it. That's a training program which is fixed for the hour or for the week or for the month. Whereas counseling is digging deep into their emotionals, into their past, and suggesting to them that these are the areas that you need to address. There, you are suggesting to them. In coaching, you are asking them the questions. In mentoring, again, you are giving them options which they could look at, whereas training is a program they need to do as per the curriculum. That's my viewpoint. That's how I look at it. And I feel being the coach is asking the right questions at the right time to the right person, and he will find the solutions in the responses that he makes to those questions which have been posed by the coach. How would you like to do this if you are surrounded by these set of circumstances? That's my opinion, and I stick to it.
Yes. Thank you for explaining those four areas. And indeed, it's very much a thin line. And I found that sometime in my coaching session, I have to shift between all four of those areas in some way or the other. But in doing it, I do actually let the person know I'm not coaching you anymore here. Now I'm mentoring you. Or, okay, maybe it's something that they need to learn. And so I would say, okay, I'll teach you this here now. And so it is important that, our viewers and people out there understand having a coach and why is it important that you have someone walking alongside you. And as a coach and having somebody that holds you accountable, it's a different area. I found personally going through, I have multiple coaches, and when I know I have to report on something, it forces me to go do it. And so I don't want to show up as somebody who is not prepared. I don't want to show up as if I don't care also. And so I would go and get whatever I said I'm going to do, get it done just because. And sometimes that is what it takes, that for you to go move from one level to the other is just having somebody who is going to be checking in and asking those right questions to keep moving you forward. And open your minds. And so I'm sharing this so that people understand it's so important having someone alongside you, especially if you want to move faster. And when you think of all the sports coaches and what amazing thing they do for their team, and why do the teams have a coach, right? And so as leaders, if as leaders you think about your organizations, what are you doing, what role are you playing, and how are you actually coaching or mentoring your team members? How are you able to hold them accountable?
It is sharpening those skills which they possess, number one. And they are aware they have these skills, but they need to sharpen it so that people acknowledge that they have it. That's one part. Two, by asking them those questions, you are making them more and more aware that they have it good in them. Let them be best in that by doing it over and over again. So, these two areas, when you sharpen the skill, the knowledge, and the belief of the individual when you're coaching, he is going to become better and the best. So, I feel coaching is getting him into the zone to sharpen himself by asking those beautiful questions which he would not have addressed had you not asked them. That's one. Two, in counseling, he is going to share his pain and he wants to get out of that pain by you assisting him by doing it or helping him do it. And mentoring is you share your experience and the experience around you, that this is what people would do or I would suggest to do. There you are just giving your opinion and he has a choice to follow it or otherwise. That's the way I look at it. I would rather stay as the coach than go into those zones which is not for me. I would hold his hand and travel the journey with the person and be a buddy and share, care, listen, learn, and grow so that he can sharpen his ability to communicate better, to become a better human being, and to lead better through this information of sharing and caring.
So, something that came to my mind is that for you to be a coach, for you to be a mentor, I believe it has to do with your heart and how much do you care. I do speak to a few people, and when I discuss with them about coaching and or ask them about their team and how their team is performing, so how are you mentoring them, how are you coaching them, how are you inspiring and encouraging your team, and they're like, I don't like anything formal, or I don't have a sit down one-to-one with my team members. We just talk, whoever need to say, we say, and we go about. And so I believe that the heart of the mentor is important, because if you don't care for others, this is going to be so hard for you that you wouldn't want to do it, and you will struggle alongside it, because there are so many things that you will need to learn to as a coach, as a mentor. As you're talking about communication, and listening. As a coach, that is one area that I had to develop in the beginning, was how to start actively listening. And so, if you're not listening, how would you be able to understand what that person is saying? How would you be able to hear what they're not saying, so that you can ask them about what they're not telling you and get that out? And I think as a coach and as a mentor, you help people to get clarity. And that's the biggest problem I find that with people right now. They're not clear on where they're going. What do they want? I hear so many times I ask, okay, so what do you want to do about this? I don't know. That's the answer that comes. Okay, what caused you to go do this particular thing? Oh, I don't know. And so there's a whole lot of I don't know why this is happening, or how this happened, or what can I do. And so having a coach alongside you will know what questions to ask you, so that you pull out and you will know what is there. I do believe, as a coach, when you sit with someone, I believe that person have the answer in them. I believe they know everything. It's there. They just don't know that it's there. So a good coach will be able to Ask the right question that will pull that out of them. And as you said, it's not about a coach who put your belief system on that person, or put words in that person's mouth to answer anything, but the question lines up where they bring out from that person, is drawing out from the individual that you're coaching. So I do believe, and coach, maybe you could share, the heart of the mentors or the coaches is one. If you are a leader leading a team, you have to care enough that I want to see my people grow. I want to see them go beyond me. And that's what leadership, I think, is all about. And so, how would they get beyond you if you're not investing time into them, if you're not helping them to see what they can't see, bringing the unconscious conscious, bringing those blind spots to them and helping them through it, holding them accountable to what they say they're going to do about it, right? And yes, that takes time. And that takes time, and that is the part that many leaders are running from. I don't have time to sit down with someone and tell and go through all of this with them. I don't have the time, to call up someone and talk to them. And so I believe it comes back to the heart, the care inside of individuals, leaders who wants to see their people grow. What are your thoughts on the heart of the?
I am an emotional person. I always work from the heart. And when you're emotionally connected, it becomes very easy to listen with your eyes and ears and give respect to the communication they're making with you. And when you see that there is a gap, you will ask those beautiful questions to them and close the gap. That's your role as a coach. And when you're doing it with them with consistency, with clarity, and the right communication, it flourishes, it blossoms. So if you ask me, single point agenda, emotional connect, give them a good listen, and see the gaps and identify and ask them those beautiful questions which close those gaps through their actions daily and over a period of time. That's the way you can create that coaching coach relationship, and it flourishes, and people respect it, and people give credence to this particular method of the connection between the heart and the mind and the other person. I strongly believe and profess this theory of emotional connect. And that is the only way you care more, listen more, give more, and connect more. And that's what they want.
Beautifully said. And so, coach, indeed, I believe as coaches, as leaders, we have to connect with our people emotionally. And you have to definitely care for them before you can even try to help them.
And connection is everywhere, be it with the family, be it with the neighbors, be it with friends, be it with people who need you to be their coach. That connection is imperative. Without the connection, there is no need to get into that zone, because this is a very pious relationship between a coach, a coachee, a mentor, and a mentee. And because they share their heart out, it is confidential, it is restricted, and it is abundant when you share and give to those people. And this shift has to come in leadership to give that to those people. And I'm happy to be the coach and share this wisdom and knowledge by asking them those questions which are pertinent, relevant, and encouraging them to think, encouraging them to apply. Yes, I think I need to do this, and become wiser every time they go through a session with a coach.
Yes. So we're talking about mentoring and coaching here. I would suggest, you as leaders, those who are listening, even in your organization, even if you don't, your leader don't have a coach or a mentor, it's something that you can look at in proposing how to get a mentor for the different areas of your life that will help propel you faster, I would say, in the goals, the dreams you want to. And I like that it's not only about your team, it's also, anyone that you can impact in their lives and you can help them to move, empower them to perform better wherever they are. So look at the role that you can play as a mentor. If you do not know how to go about mentoring, yes, you can contact either Coach Harish or myself, and you can get trained how to become a mentor or how to become a coach or whatever it is that you would like to see improve in you too. Or you get a coach, someone to work alongside with you. But it's so important that having that sounding board, having that person who holds you accountable, somebody who you can bounce ideas off of, and also the person who will be able to call you out on those behaviors that nobody would actually be brave enough to tell you where you're going wrong, or something that might not be lining up, right? And so
Call a spade, and you listen to that, you learn from that, and you grow by doing that. And that's the responsibility, by sharing the truth and by doing and being accountable to what you commit to do, to become the person you need to become. I strongly believe that this relationship is very sacred, and this needs to be respected by both the parties, the coach and the coachee.
definitely. So, thank you, Coach, for joining us today. Thank you, guys, for listening. And I encourage you, as you develop your leadership skills, you will need someone to walk alongside you as a mentor, as a coach, or somebody that you can just, relate to or build a relationship that will hold you accountable. So I encourage you, reach out, ask any questions, and we are here to help. Our goal is to keep adding value to the leaders and anyone who wants it. As Coach said, when the coach or the mentee is ready, the mentor will show up. Right? So are you ready for this? See you in the next session next week, Thursday, same time, 12:30 Guyana time and 10 p.m. India time. Take care.